Cisco Secure Workload, Quick Analysis and Absolute Policies. All right, looks like we're trying to SSH into a box. We don't have access, network error, connection timed out. Now, we can very quickly, we're in the web servers here, but let's go back to segmentation. And we see we've got the workstation and we can check out the policies. And in this case, we could create a absolute policy. So you have default policies that were dynamically created based on the analysis of the flow data. And maybe security operations may require that certain policies be enforced. And this might be one of them. And that's why there's a denied connection. So what we've done here is we've said the consumer, the client, workstation, connect to web server. And the services is going to be port 22. And we'll go ahead and apply this. Now, we could have done a quick analysis of the rule to see that it was being currently denied. In this case, we'll evaluate with the policy that's in place here. And so we'll use the IP address of the consumer, so client. And once we enter that in, we'll go ahead and give it the port. So that's port 22. And the provider or the server side of the connection. So we'll go ahead and enter the IP address here as well. But before that, let's make sure we got enforced so we don't forget. Now we'll go ahead here and add the IP address and we'll find matching policies. Now remember, absolute are policies mandated from the top down. And if we come here, let's just check that workload to make sure I got the right IP address. So we just want the first one here. Web server and that 196.4. We'll go ahead and apply it or enter it, and then we'll go ahead and find matching policies. Now it shows me right out of the gate that I do have an allow policy that is an absolute policy, and then there's this catch-all that denies the connection. So I could have done this at first and I wouldn't see the absolute policy. I would see the only thing I would see here is the deny one. But because I've created it, it's actually evaluating it. Now, I haven't pushed this or enforced this policy on the workload itself, but it's showing what policies are enabled here for me to make a decision if the outcome is correct that I could go ahead and push or enforce that policy. So we'll go ahead and give a reason here. So versions, latest policy, security needs, SSH opened. And again, this could be mandated from above, right? There might be certain ports that are required to be open for certain reasons. Or you can dynamically come in here and create the access as needed. Corporate security policy is the name. We'll go ahead and accept it. And again, roughly 30 to 90 seconds, at worst 90 seconds, that policy will be enforced. Come back in, let's check our policies here, and we go to absolute. Obviously, we see the one that we've just created. Now, a pretty simple way of modifying the policies on a workload by coming in and modifying the absolute policy. Now, if we come in here and we want to investigate the actual workload itself, we can come in and pivot into the workload web server 1, and we should see now a rule that has been entered, and we can search for it if there's a lot here, so we can filter. But look at it, it's right here at the top. Actions allow ingress IPv4 source inventory workstation, any source port, destination inventory 22. And then if we go ahead, we can start seeing packets and bytes as well. Again, put in 22. It gives you the option to figure out which element you want. Maybe we want destination port. Go ahead and hit filter, and now it'll go ahead and parse that. Obviously, we see anything that says any because apparently 22 is going to be encompassed in that any statement. Anyways, pretty quick way, quick analysis, make the change, enforcement. 30 seconds, you're up and running, you have access, or you've denied access. Pretty cool.